The boat was built in 1939 by Tacoma shipwright in Washington, in Tacoma. It was built for sardine seiner.
Oh.
Yeah, and as well as squid. So it did that for a number of years. It was actually squid fishing out of California when we bought the boat back in 2015, and then we converted it to a tender.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, just speaking generally, what does a tender do, and what did that conversion look like?
So the tender transports the fish from the fishermen on the fishing grounds back to the cannery, so the fishermen can keep fishing, not to run back in between, openers. It just saves them a lot of time and enables them to spend more time fishing, less time driving. Also, with a capacity issue, we can hold a lot more than the fishermen, so we transport the fish back to the cannery. The conversion, it doesn't take a whole lot because this boat was already fishing. It's just the sorting system for sorting all the salmon. So you don't really need the seine block and the deck winch anymore. Just some sorting equipment, scales, and you're pretty much good to go.
So when you take the fish from the fishermen, is there anything else that you offer?
Yes, so in order for them to stay out, we'll provide fuel, water. In rare cases, we'll give them groceries. That's if we like them. We'll take their trash from them. We're just basically the service vessel for them.
Nice. So you keep them going, you keep them on
Exactly.
the grounds,
Yep.
you keep them fishing, and then do you have someone, a cannery or cold storage that you're working for specifically?
I do. We tender for Silver Bay Seafoods. We've been tendering for them for since they started back in, I think, 2008 is when they started. And we originally started gillnet tendering for them and then switched to the seine tendering. So
Nice. So you said you guys bought the boat in 2015?
that's correct.
Okay. And so so the next question is, like, how did you become the captain?
Oh, yeah.
So, like, what is that, both your personal history and then the history of this boat coming to you specifically?
Yeah, so I grew up on boats. I actually grew up trolling with my family. And then we switched to tendering when I was just a little kid. And I've been running this boat. This is my 5th year running this boat. Up until that point, I just deckhand for my dad for a number of years. And gosh, I've been tendering for about 17 years now. So kind of just climbed the ladder through being a deckhand, crewing for him. Then in 2015, we ran this boat together, kind of learning the ropes from my dad. And then 2016 was when I ran it solo. Very nervous season, but it all worked out. So
yeah,
it was fun.
Yeah. So you must be pretty young.
Yes, I started. Started running it by myself when I was 23.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm 27 now. So.
Okay. Yeah. We just because of what we're doing, we're mostly interviewing older people, so it's really nice to get the perspective of someone who you both have a lot of years fishing, but then you also are pretty young with a future of fishing. So
yeah,
that's a great perspective to have.
Yeah, definitely the youngest captain in the fleet, probably by 20 years. And my deckhands, they're 18 and 20 years old, so we look like a bunch of kids running the boat, basically.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
It's pretty fun.
So let's see. There was something I wanted to get back to with her. So was when you guys bought her, was there a specific reason, besides the size? Oh, how big is she?
86 feet long by 22 feet wide, and she weighs about 440,000 pounds. She's built really stout and holds 180,000. That's total capacity the fish holds.
Okay. Oh, and then Silver Bay, are they a Sitka?
They are. They have several plants now, but they originated in Sitka.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they have a plant.
They have a plant in Craig
Okay.
and in Sitka. That's the only other.
Okay.
That's the only ones in Southeast. But then they have them in Valdez and other areas as well. So.
Very cool. So then getting back to the boat, what do you think makes her unique? Is there something about her that you think is special, something that I should really think about when I'm photographing?
Each wood boat is kind of unique in its way. You know, they have a lot of class, which they're just classy boats, which I like. You know, they've been around forever. I don't know what makes this boat special, other than just I really like the lines of this boat.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to all the other boats we've had. This one, it just looks really classy. I like the bow and just the lines of that mainly.
Yeah.
So that's probably my favorite part.
So the boats that you worked on previously and that your family has, is it like a wood boat only situation, or?
We've had a lot of wood boats in the past, usually because they're cheaper to acquire,
right?
But they take a lot more work to maintain and upkeep. Mm-hmm. If you stay on top of it and you take care of them every year, it's not bad once you get them to where they're supposed to be. But if you let them go at all, it's a lot of time and money to get them back. But yeah, we've had mainly wood boats my whole life growing up.
Yeah. All right. So you knew what you were getting into.
Yes. Yeah, it's a full-time job.
Yeah. So has anyone shared stories with you about her past?
Just actually a lot of them, but just in passing. I've just ran into a lot of guys that were like, "Oh, I used to deckhand on that boat, or I squid fished on that boat." There's actually several people from Sitka, that's where I'm from, where the boat stays now, that deckhand on it and knew the guy that owned it and ran it. So it's definitely been around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My husband and I have had some wood boats, and I really love that sort of that idea that you're continuing a history for other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
That is really cool. It's a neat aspect to it.
Yeah. So then, how has the fishing industry changed in your lifetime? It's a pretty loaded question.
Yes. We started out, for me personally, we started out gill net tendering when I was pretty young. That is totally different than the seine fishing. We did that for a number of years, and I don't know, gill net tendering is, it's a lot more driving around, a lot more kind of hands-on. The seine fishing, you usually go to a specific area and you anchor up and just wait for the guys to come to you. As far as the seasons go, it's just we've had ups and downs, good years and bad years, but it usually bounces back, balances out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping this year is one of those years that it bounces back.
We can always hope for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this may be a question that could get you into trouble, and feel free to not answer it. But do you feel like the characters, the people in general that are attracted to gill netting are much different than the fishermen that are attracted to seining, having like your perspective on a tender?
They're both fishermen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know a lot of guys that have done both.
Yeah.
So it really just depends on the person, but they're pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A fisherman's a fisherman.
Yeah, basically.
All right. Let's see. All right. So, do you have a favorite story about the boat or about fishing that you'd like to pass on? Either the worst day or the best day, a close call?
Oh boy. Hmm. Some of the best memories I have are hot sunny days on this boat. Hot sunny days, anchored up and jumping off the wheelhouse, going for a swim.
And that's quite a drop on this boat.
Yeah, it's probably 15 feet or so, 20 feet maybe. Those are pretty good memories. There has been a lot of close calls. I usually just kind of leave those behind. But overall, it's been really enjoyable running the boat.
So then, you know, fishing isn't an easy lifestyle. Obviously, it sounds like it's the lifestyle
Yeah.
in totality. But is there something that keeps you going? Is this the future that you want to continue, and what does that look like?
It is. I really enjoy, especially tendering. I grew up on the boat doing it. I really like doing it with my family. That's probably one of the biggest benefits is you can tender with your whole family on the boat. It's a great place to raise kids. They learn a good work ethic, and it's just good life experience. And you learn a lot of pretty handy skills along the way.
Yeah. Do you have siblings as well?
I have two sisters.
Okay.
Actually, one of my sisters is working on my dad's boat this summer, and my other sister. We both grew up on boats. My other sister married a Coast Guard guy, and moved on. But he works on a boat, so she can't really get away from it.
Just teasing. We love the Coast Guard.
Oh yeah,
right? Yeah,
absolutely.
So, and that sort of comes to the end of it. But sort of my last question: is there anything else that I should have asked? Is there anything else that you'd like to touch on?
I don't think so. I mean, not that I know of.
Okay.
I don't know. It's fun seeing all the different kind of people you have come alongside throughout the summer when you're unloading boats. You kind of build friendships that you wouldn't normally build.
Yeah.
So it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I know when I was fishing, getting to come to the tender, we're trolling, so it's like daily.
Yeah.
That was you really establish a great relationship with that person that's giving you money and giving you food,
right?
all the things you need. So.
Yeah. No, it is enjoyable. I like that.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite things about working on the boat is the diversity of the work. One day you're a welder working on a welding project. The next day you're plumbing something in, and then you're going to be an electrician the next day wiring something in. So you learn all the different skill sets, and a lot of the times you're out of town, you're kind of forced to learn. Mm-hmm. So you learn how to kind of think outside the box, and I enjoy that side of it probably as much as the buying fish and the running of the boat, just keeping everything going.
Yeah, and you really have to use what you have on hand. So
you have to be creative sometimes.
Yeah.
So that aspect of it's really cool.